Hello and welcome to another episode where this time I've got a guest, Lucy Sheffield, who is my creative colleague, an amazing artist who is going to talk to you today about increasing visibility. I might be the queen of business organisation, but Lucy's definitely a queen of visibility. And we work together in the Creative Business Academy alongside our other colleague, Mandy Nicholson. We're like creative companions, aren't we? And I
Yeah.
love it. So before we get started on visibility, do you want to tell everybody what it is that you do, Lucy? Obviously, I just said you're an artist, but yeah, what specifically do you do?
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah. I'm an abstract artist and I specialize in seascapes. Um, so yeah, I have like a membership where I teach painting as well and work with you guys teaching other creators with how to do business. But yeah, like
Yeah,
you said, I am like queen of visibility. Although lately I feel like I haven't been as visible, but I have because people are saying to me, you're everywhere. And people always say that. And I'm
you
like, really?
are though. Like you come into Lucy's world and it's everywhere. Like she's just there. But I guess you've been busy over summer and campaigning and doing
Yeah.
things. Having but it's good to know that whilst you're doing all that, you are still visible, and this is where you need to work in your business is to get that visibility while still having fun. And Lucy has well and truly mastered it.
I'd say.
I know. So how did visibility actually start for you then? Like what obviously you started your artist business, but what happened that made you get really, really visible?
Well, I think for me, Danny, it was the whole like I've been hiding for so many years through the drinking. So if some of my backstory is like that's how I came to my art was because I was drinking. I had a massive drinking addiction and I would hide behind that because I was scared to be who I was. Didn't think I was good enough um, and confident enough and I wouldn't let anyone see me. So it was almost like for me, it was natural because when the drinking was gone, it was kind of like, well, this is me then. So you're just going to have to put up with it kind of thing. And this is who I am. And I couldn't, I think when we have like big, I don't know what you want to call it, epiphanies, insights, things like that, when stuff happens for us in our life that changes so much internally that you can't help but sort of change night and day different. Like I was hiding like under a rock and now I'm like, woohoo, hello. I'm not afraid to be seen. And it just changes you completely because you can't, it's a really hard one to describe, but like I can't not shine now. I've done the not shining and the hiding,
Yeah,
and
I,
it
I
didn't
can't
serve me.
relate. Like I feel like that's the journey I've just been through.
Yeah.
Um, like at this moment in time, I've had a lot of feedback from people I look up to saying your content's effing amazing. Like there's always a swear word in there. And I'm like, oh, thank you, and it means a lot. And I guess that's because I'm being honest and open.
Yeah.
Who I am, what I'm doing, and I just want people to see my power. And I think people see Lucy's power and your amazing creative art, and you just show up, just being who you are, doing what you do, and I love that. And I think that's one of the things that drew me into your world. And
Yeah.
when Mandy came, so Mandy kind of approached me and Lucy to come and work together, and she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, and Lucy Sheffield, do you know Lucy Sheffield? Of course, I know Lucy Sheffield." That was my response. Because you were everywhere. It's like if there's art on it, Lucy's there,
Yeah.
especially on social media. But there's a lot of mindset work, inner work behind it all that comes in when with visibility. I guess that's the first step, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I was, I was thinking about before we came on this podcast today. I'm thinking, what will I share about visibility today? And what was going through my mind was like, why aren't people visible? And I think that the main thing that people aren't visible, like the main reason people won't become visible and do that is we just we're always so scared about what other people think of us.
Yeah.
We're
Fear
always
has so much to answer for.
yeah, and we have so many, it looks like we're scared of what other people think of us. This is how I see it, but what we're really doing is we're putting our own judgments on ourselves
Yeah.
and then we kind of project that and it looks like we're reflecting that back on other people, but it's not, it's always our own judgment. And because my own judgment for so many years was, oh my god, I don't know who I am, I'm scared of myself, I'm not good enough, right about I couldn't show that. I couldn't show me. And now, because that's changed so much inside for me, and I've been doing so much mindset work, um, I'm not bothered, like, most of the time. I'm not always like it, but most of the time, I don't mind what anyone thinks of me. Like, I have quite a nice opinion of myself. I like myself. I'm kind to myself. I have good thoughts about myself, and I don't know why I wouldn't show up if I don't think that of myself. But we're so taught to not think good things about ourselves. We're taught to play small and squash ourselves and not show off and be loud and proud and whatever. And it's like, does that serve you though? No, because if you're genuinely being out there and coming at it with that energy of knowing that you're good enough and knowing that your work is beautiful and knowing that you're in service to others, why would you not want to share that? It's not nice not sharing it. Like, share it, please. We want to see it.
It's
We want
true, and it does a disservice for other people if we don't share, doesn't it? Because like the work that each one of us as individual people can do, it can
yeah,
have such an impact. My reason when I first started out was I didn't know what to say, which I guess a lot of people
yeah,
get held back by. I mean,
yeah,
little promo throw in there, like come and join us in the Creative Business Academy because we'll tell you what you can say about yourself. But it was like, first of all, I don't know what to say. Then I thought, putting myself, and I laugh now because it's just ridiculous. But I guess it's not, because it did bother me. But I
yeah,
used to think, well, I can't be on camera because my skin on my face is quite bad, or can get quite bad. It's more under control now. And I used to think, oh, well, they'll just look at my spots on my face, my acne, and they'll point. And that is because over the years, as a teenager, people pointed it out. And I think it's ridiculous. Like, you wouldn't walk up to a disabled person and point out the fact that you
no,
can't walk. So why do we do it for these small things that people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis anyway? And it does impact your visibility long term. And we just don't see it. We don't connect those dots to it when we're dealing with it. But we
no.
both turned it around. We are super, super visible, which is why we're here today. What would be your advice to someone that wants to push themselves out of that comfort zone, be visible, but it's just not there yet? What would you tell them to go do?
I would tell them to work on that, like, work on knowing that they're good enough. Like, we are born worthy enough, and we don't believe that. And we believe all the negative stuff that happens in our heads. And there's a lot of habitual thinking that we don't even recognize and realize is our own thinking and our own judgments. And the more that we start to become aware of that, we start to believe nicer things about ourselves. And even if just taking those first steps, like, one of the things when I first did a live and went live and, on Facebook or whatever a few years ago, I was so nervous and tongue tied, and I go red and all this. I don't even go red anymore. I used to always get like a red neck, and I would just hate that. But the more that you do it, and the more, like anything, it's like we have to take that first step and just do it, and even own that. That's what I find helps. Like, when I do public speaking now, which I don't do all the time, but I get asked occasionally to do some talks and stuff in public, and that scares the shit out of me, to be honest. Like, and I still go red when I do that, but I also know that I've got something valuable to share. I know I'm good when I get in my flow, and I know that if I just own it and say, I'm nervous, I'm probably going to get tongue tied, my words might not come out right. And I always start with that, because then you're starting with being open and honest and vulnerable. And as soon as you do that, you relate to an audience because they know you're real and they feel safe with you. So whether
Yeah,
you're on Facebook or in person or whatever it is, if you own where you're at and what you're feeling, straight away you've got the audience, that you've got their attention, basically, because they're going to relate to someone who's real over someone who's pretending and thinks they're all confident, when we're not. We're the same. Like, we're exactly the same. Just because I go live and I'm visible all the time doesn't mean I don't get heart palpitations and go red and get scared and nervous. we I,
yeah.
I think it's good to recognize that we're all the same and we all feel that. So yeah.
We do. We all go through the motions, I think, with these kind of feelings in different areas of life. We definitely, like, I mean, I was the girl. I got chose for my, like when you leave school and you do your production thing. I was the one that got chose for one of the main parts, and I was such a quiet kid. I don't know why. Like, but believe it or not, I hardly spoke back then.
Same,
But
same.
really, so obviously our voices have come out along the
Yeah.
way. But I got chosen, and I was the girl that stood on the stage singing the solo, and the words just fell out of my head in front of all the parents, teachers. But you know what was amazing? And I will never forget this moment. One of my friends, who I went to school with, he started singing the song because he realised I'd obviously panicked. And once he sang it, everybody else joined in, and then
Yeah.
I felt comfortable, and I could just fit back into it. And I'll never forget that moment. And I think sometimes we have to recognise that people around us can support us with our visibility as well, because there's always someone that's listening and ready to sing with you, I guess. I guess.
That's so true. I love that story, Danny. And it's so like, again, we're so quick to make up like, oh, if I do this, they're going to think that, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. And we make up these stories before we have any idea what we're walking into. And we never make up like, oh, this person is going to be there and support me and love me. It'll be fine. We never go there and think that, do we? We go, oh God, they're going to think this of me. And it's that difference, just sort of turning that around and thinking, what if people are there to love and support you instead, you know? That's
For some reason, we kind of think people are going to tear us down, but I think the chances of that happening these days, especially on social media, are very slim because people have so much awareness now. There's like big movements for like be kind and supporting each other, and I guess communities now, people really are supportive. So if someone does say something, then before you even get to it, you can guarantee that other people will come and cancel that out. There is no witch hunting anymore.
yeah.
It's good to see it's kind of dying down, and I hope that may continue.
Yeah.
What would be your top tip to actually, when you're being visible, where would you start? So obviously we've got the inner work. So what would be your top tips for visibility?
What, for actually being visible, or
Yeah,
like
but don't give too much away because we'll send them the summit training that they can go and watch. A full masterclass with Lucy that you can go and watch.
yeah, exactly. You need to watch that. It's really good. um my biggest tip is just do it. It's got to be that. Like, I think me, you, and Mandy always say that. We're always like, just do it. That's where we fall down. We have so much on it, and we have so many, oh, I can't do it this because, and we make excuses for ourselves. But it's never as bad as what you think. So if you just do it, you'll feel proud of yourself and you'll do it again. You know, it always reminds me of like when I did a skydive years ago, and I was absolutely so petrified, and I was like, oh my God, and my stomach, oh my God. And then when I did it, it was so good that I was like, what? I want to do it again. I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
Yeah,
And I was
like when
the
you get
same,
on a roller coaster.
yeah, and it was the same feeling when I first went live on Facebook. I was like, built it up so much and had so much anxiety, and I was so nervous about it. And I did it. I only went live probably for a couple of minutes or something, and I was so nervous. And I did it, and I came off, and I loved it so much. I was like, I want to do it again. So it is that, just like however you can do it, like just do it. Just you've got to not listen to those voices, and you've got to do the stuff anyway, otherwise you're gonna stay in your little comfort zone where no magic happens.
No, it really doesn't. It's about breaking that cycle. I talked about this. It was one of the best trainings I ever did. How you've got this cycle where you're in your comfort zone, you
Yeah,
start to retreat out, but you've got to keep pushing and keep going around full circle, because if not, you just go back and you sat in the safety of your comfort zone. But what actually happens is when you step outside of it and you've pushed yourself a little bit, you think, oh, that was okay. I can push myself a little bit more. And that is when you either learn if it doesn't work out, or the
yeah,
magic happens and you grow.
exactly.
I love that. This has been, Lucy's had so much growth. I've had so much growth. Mandy, who has mentored and coached us both, has had a lot of growth as well. So we are all good examples of how we've pushed ourselves.
Mm.
And there's no reason not to, is there? Your own judgment, let it go. No
Yeah,
reason not at all.
that's it. That just, it is like, I feel like I've said this about 3 times now, but it is that what we listen to in our heads is crap, and we need to not listen to that and do what you want to do anyway. Because then when you start doing that, it gets quieter, and you start listening, you get nicer things that, you know, are said in your head rather than the habitual I'm not good enough stuff. and it is that we're just so taught to listen to that, and we don't need to.
It's so true. I think one of the best things for me as well has been like surrounding myself with people that I see doing it
Yeah,
and pushing me to do it. So like, come and hang out with us.
yeah,
Do it. Just hang out with me and Lucy because we will push you. But you'll
that's
see
it.
us doing it as well and leading by example. We definitely do that. And it's
Yeah,
so important because then if you lead by example for others, then it's like a ripple effect, isn't it? So
it
like getting into those spaces. And we have one of those spaces, don't we, Lucy?
we do, don't we, Danny?
We
Come and hang out
do.
with us in our Creative Business Academy.
We do. And we have to come and shout about it as part of this because it's been amazing to see the ladies that have gone fully in and done the work, isn't it? They're doing the trainings. I have my door's just banging. I had a Zoom session with them last week, and they said they love it. And naturally, they've missed, like, if they've taken some time over summer or not been asking questions, they've missed it. And it's because obviously they've missed hanging out with us because they feel comfortable and safe and know they will be supported. So you want to come and be supported, come and hang out with us. But you don't just have to, jump straight in. We do let you dip your toe in. So Lucy talks about visibility a lot, but she's got more stuff on there. Can you remember what kind of trainings you covered? Because I've forgotten that much.
I can't remember. There's so many. Oh my god! Now you put me on the spot, Danny. I don't know honestly, but I cover.
Put myself on spot.
Cover, as much as possible within the art, like becoming an artist and growing a business with so many different things about framing and printing and postaging and packaging. All there's so much practical stuff as well as mindset, because I'm definitely more mindset.
Like you and Mandy even kind of own the mindset section, don't you?
But there's so much. But what we don't realize, I think, again, is it is good to have practical stuff, and I love helping people with practical stuff. In my own membership this morning, I did a live. The ladies wanted to know how to mount prints, and I was like, yeah man, I'll do you a demo. So I did that. But I'm very much more I love helping people work on yourself and trust yourself. Actually, in the Business Academy this morning, I did a live, and the ladies wanted me to talk about decision making and how to prioritize. So I did it Lucy style and said, I know that Mandy and Danny love to do organized work their way, but that's what I love about it, because I'm different and I have to own that and go, I can't do it Danny and Mandy's way. I'm not organized that way. I'm sort of organized, but I'm more wing it. But I'm very much like, I want to teach the ladies that you know how to prioritize. You've just got to get back to that core of who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? And how, trust yourself in making your decisions and what's priority for you, and how you do that is different to how I do it, and Danny does it, and Mandy does it. So, I brought in a little bit of practical stuff with that and said that I do have a spreadsheet, and I do write my things down, and I do have a calendar, and I do double book myself all the time. It's great.
Yeah, me too. And I'm supposed to be the organised one.
Exactly. It happens. But it was really nice to go in there, do that live this morning, because that's what the ladies had asked for. And I love that we ask them, what would you like? What topics would you like us to talk about and cover? And they always come up with something. They come up with good questions, and they're learning and growing all the time. And it's great. It's great to see, isn't it? So yeah, I love it when we get to do it.
It's so fun doing it every week with the ladies, and I guess there's no other membership like this, is there? Like, at such a low ticket price where you get not one but 3 amazing creatives.
Yeah.
The only membership for creatives created by creatives.
Yeah.
It is just such a passion project for all of us. And it's so fun.
It's really good.
And one of the ladies said the other week, I love coming even when I don't ask a question, because I always learn something new, and it's all about growth. And she's so right. It was Jill that said that, and she's so right.
Oh,
so I'll put the links into the show notes for it, because it is an amazing academy to be part of, and it's super affordable. And you never know, there might be cheeky discounts now and again to come and join us. And rewards, we've got rewards and everything now. It's really grown.
We've we're having discounts and affiliate, what they're called?
Affiliate.
affiliate, I couldn't say the word then, affiliate links, and we've got all sorts of stuff, new stuff coming in actually, haven't we? I don't know when it's obviously going out and when you'll see and hear this, but I know as the time that we're recording this, we've got some exciting new stuff that's happening to entice and help the ladies even more in the academy. So it's great.
We reward you for being in, basically, don't we? So, like, you get joined in, you're not only going to grow your business, but we reward you for it as well. Like, who does that? We do.
It's awesome, isn't it? It's really cool. Yeah.
So, the question that I've got to ask everybody that comes onto my podcast, what is your top tip for being organised in your business? This is a question to Lucy, who's just admitted that she's not, like...
Okay, my top tip around that is do it your way.
Oh, I love it. That could not be more perfect.
Do it your way. And my way is to wing it most of the time and trust that I'm going to know what to do in each moment. And that's how I do organisation. And it seems to get me as everywhere. So go on.
You do wing it, but you wing it with the knowing of the understanding of the strategy behind a business. I've got a friend, a very good friend of mine, who wings it all the time. And I'm always like, you need to be more organised. Every time we get together, I say it to her. But she's kind of a wing it Wendy, does it on the fly every single day. But the difference is she knows what she's doing. She's got the strategy. It's just that it's not down on paper like I do. But I would say put it down on paper.
Yeah, but it's a good job of asking me the question then, isn't it?
I know. But it's interesting to get everybody's point of view because we get so many different tips. Like one of them was about time blocking in one of the previous podcasts that we recorded. And like time blocking doesn't work for everybody, which is where doing it your own way definitely does come in. You've got to do it your way.
And that's what I love about the Business Academy, because it's the same thing. That's what we're all three of us are saying. Like, you know what? This is how I do it. Danny does it this way. Mandy does it this way. Take what makes sense to you. That's the point, isn't it? And none of them might make sense to you, and then you find your own way, or you take the little bits that make sense out of bit. There's loads of things I've learned from you and Mandy, and that I do because I like the way you do it, but I'll do it in my way.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because like your live that you did this morning in the academy. Oh, Lucy's gone live. I forgot it was your turn this week, so I saved it because even though I feel like I'm good at I'm not good at making decisions actually, I'll be honest, but I am good at prioritising things. But I thought, you know what? I know that when I listen to you and when I listen to Mandy, there's always something. I get these downloads of ideas, and it sparked me off into a whole other direction, which sometimes can be procrastination, but but it is massively helpful, and I feel so inspired by you both all the time. So it is amazing to work alongside you both. It really is, and I watch you both as well in our own academy.
I know.
I actually do, because I love it.
It is good.
Thank you so much for joining us, Lucy. Please tell everybody where they can come and find you if they want to see your art or they want to learn to do art themselves. And of course, I'll share the links anyway for the Creative Business Academy and the free summer.
Yeah, cool. So on Facebook, mainly I hang out on Facebook, and I have a free Facebook group called The Art of Life with Lucy. And I have my painting room, which is just called The Painting Room. And you can join my membership for £15 a month and learn to paint with me every single week online, which is great. So you can find all those. You can just find me on Facebook, Lucy Sheffield, and then you'll get directed to those anyway. If I'm good at what I'm doing, being visible.
There is no if, like you're always shouting about what you're doing. So you'll definitely find it if you go into Lucy's world, because she knows what she's doing, she knows the stuff, and she will promote her stuff. And I love that you're not shy about it as well.
I'm not. Cool.
Thank you so much. And here's a bit of a teaser. We will have Lucy back again in future with our third creative companion, Mandy, as well. So watch this space and come back for more.
Yay, thank you so much.